In the last video, we have defined a person class and we have created an instance of this class. Next, I want to show you how we can access the member variables inside a class. So we can do this by typing person.name, for example, like this. And the dot operator here is what we need to use in order to access the member variables. And just for curiosity, we could put this inside a print statement like this, and we could try to run this code. And we can see that the console is now showing us a null value. So why is that? Well, the reason we get null here is that the member variables of this class are not initialized when we create an instance. What we would like to do is to be able to provide a value for all our member variables when we create a new person. And to do that, we need to use a special function which is called a constructor. So let's see how we can do that. To define a constructor, we need to type in the name of the class itself. So here I can type in person and then open and close bracket and I'll say my colon. And because the constructor is like a function, it can take a number of input parameters. So what I'm going to do here is to use some curly braces to define some named parameters. And then I'm going to use a new syntax which looks like this. So I'm going to type this.name, comma, this.age, comma, this.height, like this. And what this code does is to initialize the name, age, and height member variables when we create an instance of type person. And then when we call our person constructor, we can pass in a name, which is Andrea, and then age, 34, and then height, 1.84, like this. Okay, so there is one more thing that I'd like to say, and that is that these member variables are currently mutable. And this means that here I could change the name and say person.name equals Bob, like this. And if you remember, when we were talking about var and final, I said that whenever possible, we should use final to make our variables immutable. And the concept applies also when we work with classes. So we can make our member variables immutable by declaring them as final, like this. Final. And as you can see, the compiler now complains that we can't change the name variable because it is final. So we can remove this line now, and our person class is now immutable. And just to check that everything works, we can now run our code again, and we can see that the console now prints the correct name. Okay, so let's continue on the next video.